Guys, do you still remember this?
1 million yezindlu zizowakhiwa lezo zindlu lapha Alexander Mamela. 1 million yezindlu zizowakhiwa lezo zindlu lapha Alexander Mamela.
This was in 2019, President Ramaphosa addressing to people of Alexandra. He said repeatedly, saying that we are going to build million houses here in Alexandra. He repeated saying that we are going to build million houses here in Alexandra. So there's no need of saying that people, they have understood what the president had said concerning the building of the house in Alexandra. He had promised people of Alexandra a million houses that's supposed to be built in Alexandra. He even go far by addressing the matter of the land where these houses supposed to be built, where this project supposed to take place. So there's no need of trying to say that people are misunderstanding the president. Whether we like it or not, the truth is that the president had promised people of Alexandra 1 million of houses that's supposed to be built in Alexandra. A promise is a promise no matter what. Now, the problem here is that yesterday in the parliament, while the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, was answering to oral questions which was coming from the member of the parliament, while the president of EFF, Julius Malema, stood up and asked him the question, reminding him once again about the house which he had promised to the people of Alexandra. Oh yes, Julius Malema said that.
President, it is leadership to admit when you have made a mistake. You can't come here and say you never promised the people of Alexandra 1 million houses. You said so. You said you are going to build 1 million houses for the people of Alexandra. And knowing you being a legally trained person, like you said, you are not an illiterate who just speaks without knowing what he's speaking about. And being a president, before you take a stage, your back office would have given you the necessary information which is relevant to this place where you are. So it is important that today you admit that you made a mistake, because those people are dying. Some of them stayed at Stretla, and as a result, that land is not for human settlement. And when you created that impression, a lot of expectation was made. We're dealing with human beings here who've got feelings. And when a president speaks, they've got their expectation, high, because they know it's not a lesser authority speaking.
That was Julius Malema. And he was very firm. I mean, very firm, but in a very respectful way compared to the Julius Malema that we know when you want to attack the president in the parliament. This time, we see a humble, respectful Julius Malema addressing President of the Republic of South Africa, reminding him of what he had said to people of Alexandra, on what he had promised them as he's going to build for them 1 million houses in Alexandra. So he had to remind him that, no, dude, come on. The responsibility as the head of the state, the responsibility as the president of a country, is to acknowledge when you do something wrong. It is acknowledge and accept your wrongdoing and apologize for that, because you have said something to the people of Alexandra and they have heard you. Well, since it was a question, of course, President Cyril Ramaphosa, he had to come back and give the answer to this question. And he said,
in addressing precisely the point that you are making, we took care to go back to that recording and listened to it. And had a number of people in my office listening to it and interpreting it, because ke boletse ka Sepedi. And to the extent, Honorable Malema, that it created this impression that I said 1 million houses for Alexandra, which objectively would not be possible anyway, because we just don't have the land there to build the 1 million houses. And to the extent that it created that impression, yes, I will say, I apologize for having made people believe that I meant for Alexandra. What I really meant was, yes, we would want to build 1 million houses for the whole country.
The president, according to his answer, he says that when he says so, people, they misunderstood him. First of all, the 1 million that President Ramaphosa was talking about was referring him building 1 million houses for the entire country, for the whole country. Now, President, he says that when he was talking about this, he was speaking in Spedi. But do we play for you this clip, isn't it? We all heard President Ramaphosa speaking in Zulu. We all heard President Ramaphosa saying Lapa. Lapa, it is Zulu, isn't it? He insistently repeating the same word, saying that Lapa. Lapa, it simply means here in English. So, the question is, how did the president change from Spedi to Zulu when we can all hear what he said? And how president have to change things around when it's being corrected by something that he had promised and he could not fulfill? So I think the leadership here require him to at least apologize to people of Alexandra. Because Julius Malema also on his side is not that stupid for him to raise up this question to the president if the president did not say it out. We all know that as a head of the state, before you address a certain kind of committee, the people who surround you, the councillors and ministers, whoever is in charge, whether it is mayors, these are the people who come and give you information concerning that certain community and what they are going through, so that as you are addressing them, you should be aware of what it needed. And President, as you was addressing these people, I believe, as the head of the state, you should have been told already whether it's going to be possible for him to build this 1 million houses in Alexandra or not. And if it's going to, this project is going to take place or not. It should have been the first man who's supposed to be well informed out of everyone. But unfortunately, the president came today and tell us also his side of story that people, they misunderstood him, because when he was talking about 1 million house, he was referring to the whole country. Now the question is Julius Malema crazy? Because Julius Malema has been repeating about this. Let me give you a very simple example. In the previous election that took place during the campaign, when Julius Malema was running his rally around Gauteng, he went to people of Alexandra. Myself, I was there. And I filmed everything. Julius Malema, as he was addressing people of Alexandra, he had to remind them of what President Ramaphosa had said, that he's going to build for them 1 million house. Today, where is 1 million house?
Wow, pretend the president of South Africa. Marantweke tsotsi yang kwe kholo ile ya tamo Alexander mo yari ito anga dinto je 1 million mo Alexander mo. Till today there is no single house that was built by Cyril Ramaphosa in Alexander. Nazanga rabona Alexander igola go iba le dintlo mo Alexander re no bona nko ya Cyril igola mara Alexander igola. So we want Alexander to grow. Re feba to barina mo Alexander dinto re tlo a dinto mo Alexander tse di pila tsa ba le kitchen, tsa ba le dining, tsa ba le lounge, tsa ba le passage, tsa ba le a flushing toilet inside those houses. Comrades, mo Alexander mo batho ba share di toilet, and the toilet itself, they are not even good for our health, especially the women of Alexander, because our respecting batho ba batsho haona lekgowa. There is no single white person wa berekisang di toilet tse di berekisang mo Alexander mo. No white person in South Africa who has an toilet ya flusha. When you don't have a flushing toilet, you must know you have been treated like an animal. Only animals don't have toilets. Wena, you respect yourself. You must know that the ANC made you look like animal for the past 30 years. If they failed to give you anything, they were supposed to give you at least a flushing toilet, because a flushing toilet is a dignity.
When Julius Malema was addressing this Alexandra community, it's because he was so confident. He once heard the president, and come to think of it, you heard President Ramaphosa himself saying that it is even impossible for us to build 1 million houses in Alexandra. So what if he had said these kind of things? And then Julius Malema with his colleagues in the EFF, they were like, okay, we just got a bullet that we'll use against the president in the future. Because we all know that it is impossible to build 1 houses in Alexandra. In order for you to build that 1 million houses in Alexandra, you will have to remove the entire community of Alexandra people. You must find a place for them where they will live there, and you demolish whatsoever these people they have built over there and start from zero. But if you say you are going to build 1 million houses in a place such as Alexandra, the way people already they've been living over there, and the way they build their housing over there, you will see that it is even impossible. That's such kind of a mathematics. It was impossible. So I strongly believe the opposition political parties such as the EFF with the Julius Malema, when they heard President Ramaphosa saying this kind of words, they came to realize that these things, it will never going to happen. And since it's not going to happen, let's take this, we'll use it against him in the future. And that is what happened when that moment arrived. Now, the president has to find himself in front of the fact that he has to deal with these questions. So right now, we don't know what people of Alexandra, they are thinking about. Feel free to drop us also your comment in the comment section. Tell us, especially if you are living in Alexandra, or if you've been from there, or you're having siblings, or maybe you grow up over there and you travel abroad. Well, feel free to drop us also the comment, your comment in the comment section. Tell us if it is possible for 1 million houses to be built in Alexandra. That is politician. That's the reason why here at Cool Bars, I always tell all my audience that don't trust and rely on politicians, because they'll come today, they'll tell you one thing, and tomorrow they'll say another thing. See how the president is changing. We all hear him through this video that I play for you. That was in 2019. When he used the word Lapa, he was speaking, or he was talking in Zulu. Lapa, it means here. Here where? In Alexandra. He not say Lapa in South Africa. No. He was saying that Lapa in Alexandra. We all know that. So it's a simple words that I think if I was part of the team of the president, I would have just suggest for him to apologize to people of Alexandra and say that no, I think actually is a good idea. Even though I never meant it before, I think we should start considering that and see on how we can build houses for people of Alexandra. But not in Alexandra. We have to find a land somewhere and then try to put these people there and see whether they can move there, and then we build that 1 million and put them back, or we can just move them somewhere else and take that place and combine it together with certain buildings. That is also another option that head of the state can think in his answer as he was answering to the oral question in the parliament. Well, guys, on the other side, we're having this.
Gwaza mkonto gwaza. Gwaza mkonto gwaza. Hands off President Jacob Zuma, hands off. Hands off President Jacob Zuma, hands off. Manda. Jigijela mkonto jigijela. Jigijela mkonto jigijela. Manda. Away two. Thank you very much, Fetas and Bonani. We are still here, all of us, the president and the lawyers have presented the case. Our Secretary General is going to come and speak to all of us and give us an update on what is going to happen and what is happening today. but all of us are here. And we want to give you an announcement, fighters, that yesterday there were by-elections in Ward 45, Rustenburg in Northwest Province. And the candidate of Mkhonto Wesizwe Party won decisively. Because MK does not only exist in KwaZulu-Natal, it exists in all corners of South Africa. So we want to send a very strong warning to all corners of South Africa that when it comes to elections, it's Operation Tata Zonke. It's Operation Tera Inkwaso. We're going to win all the wards here in KwaZulu-Natal and take over all the municipalities. We're going to take over all the municipalities in the whole of South Africa. Because we're an organization that exists everywhere.
That is Floyd Shivambu, the new national organizer of the MK. Now, listening to him, first of all, you will say that whatever he says there, these are the kind of the things we have once heard coming from his mouth while he was still in the EFF, isn't it? So there's nothing new. But if you pay attention to the video that I just played for you, you will understand Floyd Shivambu referring or addressing to the MK members as fighters of the EFF. So the moment he opened his mouth and calling these people like, oh, fighters, I'm like, oh la la. So we still actually in the EFF blood still running into his vein. It will take him some time. And even when he was addressing, calling the name of Jacob Zuma as a president, Jacob Zuma, president, blah, blah, blah. You could see he was having that struggleness of him pronouncing the whole name accordingly, because he was kind of like afraid to not make mistake of end up calling President Malema or President Julius Malema the commander-in-chief, because these are the kind of words that is used to whenever you used to be in the EFF. So now that he's next to Jacob Zuma, it's going to take him a little bit time. So one of these days, don't be surprised seeing him maybe referring to Jacob Zuma as the president of EFF, Julius Malema, because that's how it is. You have mistakes for everyone. Even Joe Biden end up calling Zelensky, calling Putin instead of him calling Zelensky. So mistake is for everyone. But later on, we then saw the old man from Kankla himself, President Jacob Zuma, coming, addressing people of who were there gathered to come and support him. But we don't have all the time for this. We all choose this place for you.
Ay wena uyang bambezela umshini wami we baba umshini wami we baba yangithanda le ntombi umshini wami siyabonga bakwethu, siyabonga.
Guys, did you notice something when former President Jacob Zuma was busy chanting? If you look very well in the background, you will see Floyd Shivambu is there. He's also accompanying him and singing at the same time with President Jacob Zuma. That's a very beautiful thing. But again, guys, politicians, don't lay your trust in politicians. They'll always disappoint you. We are seeing the same Floyd Shivambu behaving the same way that used to behave in the EFF and when he used to be next to Julius Malema. Look, when Julius Malema is busy singing his song of who left, who right, ho, Hamazan, ho, you know, behind him or next to him, who's there? Floyd Shivambu, and followed by other members of the EFF. This goes again the same thing. President Zuma comes and starts chanting his songs there, Shimnuan, and the next things, the guys on in his side and doing the same thing. Now, the question that comes in my mind is, who's fooling who? When Floyd Shivambu used to be in the EFF, what was he used to say about Jacob Zuma when he was still in power? Look at Floyd Shivambu talking about former President Jacob Zuma on how you will never gonna have peace until he's held accountable.
Jacob Zuma will never find peace in the presence of the EFF that respects the Constitution. As long as the Constitution is what we have now, Jacob Zuma, unless he is held accountable to the fullest, he will never address this parliament. There will never be a time where he will find peace in this particular parliament. At all times he will know that there are serious dynamics and opposition that will come from the EFF, which has been proven times and again that is the only defender of the Constitution.
Just imagine that Floyd Shivambu, the man who defended the Constitution, him alongside with the EFF, who seem to consider Jacob Zuma as the problem and the EFF they are the solution to all the problem which former President Jacob Zuma was causing back then, according to them.
Honorable Speaker, you know, the founding principles of South Africa's democracy is separation of powers amongst other things, but also the multi-party system of democracy. And we've made observations, we raised it with the chief whips that it looks like the ruling party is steamrolling this parliament and using it as a rubber stamp of the executive. Yes. And in some instances, even replacing the powers of parliament, the powers of other institutions of democracy. Yes. Replacing all of those and the executive investigating itself, yes. Taking wrong decisions that are not constitutional. Yes. We're refusing, as this parliament, as members of parliament, as the EFF, we disagree with the approach which has been taken by the other parties in terms of this approach. We say that the president must not undermine the constitution, he must be accountable. He must come with a clear program on when is he going to pay back the money. We can't just sweep that issue under the pocket. We cannot be steamrolled through an undemocratic process, and we're party to that. That is why we're saying that the president must give us accountability in terms of when is he going to pay back the money. Not that report of the Minister of Police that says that the people of South Africa must spend more money on the enrichment of one person. We can't be steamrolled towards commission of corruption by a sitting head of state. We have seen many countries in Africa collapse because of protection of one individual. Yes. We cannot agree that this parliament be utilized to rubber stamp wrong decisions of this particular parliament. That is why we stand up here to say that we want the president to give us a definite answer on when is he going to pay back the money. Because there's a clear instruction about that and there's no confusion about it. So we need clarity in terms of that. We do not agree with a president who comes here and makes mockery of this institution, and makes mockery and tells jokes here about an important issue of corruption. The people of South Africa are the ones who are funding us here. They pay VAT every day, they pay taxes. They expect us to use that money to fund developmental programs, not security of one president, which is unjustifiably costly. The people of South Africa are not expecting us to be protecting chickens and cattle in Kandla. Our message is clear, it's very clear that we want to be told as to when is he going to pay that money, and that is what we're standing here to demand. We're not begging, we're not asking, we're demanding because we've been mandated by our people that the president must pay back the money, he must do so.
This is the same man who's now not only joining the political part of the man who's supposed to be the problem to the nation, but is now even begging him behind, giving him all his necessary support outside the court, while the man is now inside the court, while the court is questioning him of what is supposed to be held accountable. That is politician for you. Politician will mislead you. Politician can lie to you. Politicians works for their own advantage, and that is the naked truth. You're not going to deny that. As I asked you guys this question, I said, who's fooling who? Who's trying to fool who? So These people, they can't think that whatsoever they are saying from their mouth, people of South Africa, they don't follow them. People of South Africa, they don't hear or see whatsoever they are doing. You need to be very careful with politicians. So that is it. That is how they get to play us. That is how they get to manipulate people. Why? Because today they will say one thing and tomorrow they will say another thing. President Ramaphosa wake up one morning just because maybe he was busy visiting people of Alexandra. He went there and promised them 1 million house. Today he comes and say that, no, you guys misunderstood me. Actually, I did build 1 million house. As I did promise, I respect my promises. But I was not referring that that 1 million house, it will be built only in Alexandra. That 1 million house, it was included for the whole entire country. And he says that he was busy talking in Spedi and not in Zulu, as you guys heard it in the footage which we play for you. On the other side, you are having Floyd Shivambu, who once said different things about Jacob Zuma, calling for justice, calling for Jacob Zuma to be judged inside the court. Today is the same man who did not only join the political party of Jacob Zuma, but is the man now who's begging up, who's supporting Jacob Zuma outside the court. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It was very important that we had this conversation for today. So please do us a favor before you leave. Make sure that you give us your thumbs up, like this video and your number. We really do appreciate. Feel also free to drop us your comment in the comment section. Tell us what you think about this kind of drama that we are seeing from politicians time to time. So we really do appreciate your time and all the effort that you guys are doing for us to be part of this big family called Cool Buzz TV. So we'll see you again in our next video. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.